Did you know that if you text for 5 seconds at 55 miles per hour, you will travel the length of a football field with your eyes off the road? It is a scary and very dangerous ride when you text and drive. And that's why today's TMJ4 is asking everyone to band together to stop texting and driving. And that's why we're wearing these blue little bands, too, right here.
That's why you see him. Anne Scallon is just signed the pledge not to text and drive. You can do it, too. And she's the founder of Before the Wheel. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. How do you feel about this campaign we're doing here?
I'm very excited about it. I just think it's so important to everyone work together and really have people take the pledge, have their teens take the pledge. Anytime somebody puts in that effort where they acknowledge and they make a public, you're really making a public statement that you believe that people should not be texting and driving, and hopefully people will take it to that next level and not talk on their cell phone either.
Well, yeah, and I think it's one of those things that, you know, we think, I can even think back not long ago when it was one of those campaigns to wear a seatbelt, and now we don't even think about wearing it. It's ridiculous not to, and I hope that this campaign and other awareness kind of leads to that point of people thinking it'd be ridiculous to text and drive, and we need to kind of get there. How do we start that conversation with our teens? Anyone, you know, who we love, how do we get them to kind of just take that pledge and truly feel like what we're saying or talking about is going to make a difference?
I think sometimes it's helpful to take it kind of in the broader context instead of saying to a teen, don't do this, do this. It's more like in a broader context, sometimes you can bring up a story that everyone's outraged about, and over the last couple years we've heard of one big train accident and one or more bus accidents where the driver was texting and driving or talking on a cell phone. Anyone who hears that story, I've seen teens, they're outraged by it. And so that gives them a context that's not personal to themselves. And then you can start the conversation as to why are you outraged by it? And they feel that driver had a responsibility for their passengers, for other people on the road or other people on the track. And so it kind of gives you an opportunity to start a conversation that isn't connected to them. And when they can see that broader context and understand that we all have that shared responsibility, it's also a shared trust. When you go into a stoplight, if you're not concentrating and you keep going, there's a lot of people who are going to be hurt in addition to the people in your own car.
I think kids today are so used to multitasking, though. I see it while they're doing homework. I see it even while they're with friends. They're texting, they're talking, they're listening to music. They do it probably at their jobs. I worry that, and they're in an age where people, friends especially, expect immediate access to them. And I think it's really hard for them to put down the phone, whether it's texting or talking, while they're driving.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I've worked with a lot of young people, and that's what they're used to. We're used to kind of segmenting things. And so one thing that may be helpful if you ask them, why don't you take this week and go to, you know, if you're in soccer or basketball, and you can text while you're, you know, sitting there on the bench, or your coach calls you out, just bring your phone out and everything. And then after the week is done, why don't we talk about it a little further? And obviously they're going to realize there's some activities that you have to have 100% concentration. If you're out there playing basketball and you're not concentrating, someone's going to wreck. Of course, the coach is never going to allow it either. So it really gives them some thought to, there are activities that it is so important that it has 100% of your concentration.
I think that's a great example. It's almost, it sounds ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, take your cell phone onto the soccer field. They'll be like, what? You know, but it's a great analogy. It's good to kind of start that conversation. It's important to take the pledge. You can do that as well. You can band together with us here at today's TMJ4 and band together with those you love to stop texting and driving. You can also enter to win an iPad mini by taking that pledge on our website. Just like today's TMJ4, take the pledge not to text and drive. Here's more information on Before the Wheel with Anne. It's supportive teen and safe driving as well. It's beforethewheel.com. There's more information. You always have great conversation topics on there for teens and parents too. So thanks for being here, Anne.
Thanks, Anne.